We had Crandall PD take possession of that cell phone and transport that cell phone to the forensic examiner at KSO.
Go back, Ms. Holman, I'm sorry. When were these statements made?
The statements, and I apologize, Judge, just for a timeline. This offense occurred in August, is alleged to have occurred in August of 2018. An outcry was made sometime later, about a year and a half later. The defendant was arrested in, I believe, February of 2020 on the warrant for this offense. There was a cell phone in possession of our complaining witness that contained statements. It was not her currently used cell phone. It was an old cell phone, but contained statements that we believe will be between her and the defendant and relating to whether or not an offense occurred. We were made aware of that on March 22nd. We also let defense counsel know about this cell phone.
Who made you aware of it of March 22nd?
The victim.
The victim did?
Yes.
And so it was never asked of her beforehand?
And I do not know if law enforcement ever asked of her of that, but we, at our pretrial, I had discussed with Mr. Cunningham that we were going to reach out to her about any photos from that time, any notes from that time. There was an issue about some notes she had taken. And in the course of talking to her about those notes and photos, that is when this phone was discovered. We had Crandall PD take immediate possession of that phone. They transported it to the Kaufman County Sheriff's Office. A forensic dump is being completed. I've checked in with George York, who's completing that dump. He said they were able to do an analysis, but they are trying to generate the report right now. We've asked them to do that as expediently as possible. Additionally, this was not contained in my motion, Judge, but I want to make sure it's clear on the record, and I've discussed with defense counsel, is that our victim also said that she saw a healthcare provider for a follow-up exam after she met with the Children's Advocacy Center. And so those records also were not ever sent over to us. I have applied for a subpoena for those records. They are being expedited to us. We were just made aware during that meeting with our victim. And so I have let Mr. Cunningham know that as well, and we will provide those to him immediately. I do not know what those records contain, but they are being sent over. As I said, we've asked for a rush, and that subpoena has been served on those records.
Mr. Cunningham, what's your thoughts?
A couple of housekeeping matters, Judge. Last night, Mr. Villagomez and I spoke with the defendant. Mr. Villagomez translated. He knows about the motion for continuance. He knows about the basis for it. He understands the motion for continuance. He wants to have access to those documents as well. Also, we talked to him last night about waiving his appearance for today. He agreed to that. I wanted to make sure that that was clear on the record. All of that was done through a Spanish translation. Judge, I don't have any objection to the state's motion for continuance. I'd be interested in seeing if there is a course of communication between the complainant and the defendant to see what it says. So I have no. Also, we talked to him last night about waiving his appearance for today. He agreed to that. I wanted to make sure that that was clear on the record. All of that was done through a Spanish translation. Judge, I don't have any objection to the state's motion for continuance. I'd be interested in seeing if there is a course of communication between the complainant and the defendant to see what it says. So I have no. Also, we talked to him last night about waiving his appearance for today.
I was wondering what in the world was going on there.
I don't know, Judge. I had that. I'm going to keep quiet.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I mean, here's obviously the problem. He's been in for quite some time. I keep repeating myself, but we only got so many trial dates, and there's a chance now that he obviously would be waiting even longer. So we need to get this set on the within the next um, what we're going to start happening is we're just going to have a ton set a couple of times a month, maybe even more. And we're just going to have to have them all ready because you can't. So you told me, Ms. Holman, all that stuff is being expedited and should be turned over within the next week or two?
Yes, sir. We're working to get that with defense counsel as soon as we have it. We do need to make sure on the review of the cell phone that there's not anything obviously that's pulled that cannot be turned over and would have to come be viewed in our office. And we'll have an investigator check that. George is going to check for that. But we've been in constant communication with defense counsel to get this in their hands.
So, Mr. Cunningham, when you get that, obviously, I'll need you to move as quickly as possible with your client to move that along. And I do want this set in the next 60 days, though, again. All right, is that understandable?
That's not only understandable, that's fair.
Yes, sir.
So we do have a couple of dates each of those months to get that done. And we're going to just load up as many as we can, those trial dates, so that this won't happen again. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Cunningham?
No, Your Honor. And again, I apologize for being late.
I'm sorry, sir, I lost.
I apologize for being late.
Oh, that's okay. All right, we're off the record. Well, hold on, go back on there. I'll grant that motion and order that the case be set within the next 60 days to give both sides an opportunity to look over that evidence. We're off the record.
And Judge, we can just get with Sunny via email after. Okay.
Sounds fine. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, as a housekeeping, I know the next case in line. My understanding is all the witnesses are subpoenaed and ready for that next case.
You gonna find somebody to try it?
It's
hear
Val
that?
right there.
You hear that, Andrew? All right, so I guess we're trying. Well, that needs to be tried, so might as well try it. All right, they're both here, so they are heard. All right, thank you.